Here's how you're going to find out what your root cause to your self-sabotage is, okay? And this is where I want you to start. If you're watching this video, this is how you find out the root cause to your self-sabotage, because without finding out this root cause, honestly, you're shooting in the dark and you won't know where to start, okay? Let's get straight into it. Yeah, this is trigger tracking. This is finding out your root cause, as I have already mentioned. Please take this very seriously. The ones who do best at dealing with their self-sabotage are the ones that take this exercise and idea the most seriously. Okay. Oh, can't click through. So look, let me go over why this is important. Okay. Um, you need to identify what your root causes are. Okay, you need to understand what the emotions are around it. I've wrote here helps you pinpoint the situations, emotions, or thoughts that lead to self-sabotaging behaviors. You need to know what the root cause is and why. Okay, and this is what I see so many people doing. They're looking for shortcuts. They're looking for new information to go out and find online to try and act on. But the problem is you can't act on it because you're self-sabotaging, and this is exactly why. Okay, so it identifies the root cause so that you can understand why you're self-sabotaging, and when you can do that, you can take proper action towards it. um Creating awareness again increases self-awareness so you can recognize the patterns and break automatic responses. Okay, so for one of two things, okay, that this is good for, and I'll just pop the last one up here. There's two main reasons I get people to track the triggers. One's to find out what the root causes are, root causes are to their self-sabotage. Also, the second reason is it actually helps them become aware of it in the moment. Okay, so here's an example. I'm pretty sure that you have been working away. Let's use the mobile phone as an example because it seems to be the most common with people. You can be working away. Let me just make myself a little bigger. You can be working away and you pick up your phone, and an hour later, you realize that you've been a zombie for an hour, okay? And you've not realized you've been procrastinating. Now, what this does, this trigger tracking, it helps you identify when you're self sabotaging as well. You're going to get very quick at realizing that you're doing the wrong thing or that you're not doing the right thing, okay? You're going to get very quick at that, but also it helps you understand the root cause. So, those are the two things that this trigger tracking is going to help you do today, okay? And next, I just want to say drop the ego here, okay? Stop looking for shortcuts. It's probably something I'm going to mention a few times here. If you're watching this video, drop the ego. Don't look for shortcuts. Just do what I'm asking you to do in this video, okay? And nothing else. I've wrote here, don't take the easy way out. This needs to be done. I was kind of reiterating what I've just said there. This, again, it's so critical that you do this. And just going, clicking off this video or stopping halfway through this to go and find a shortcut like you probably have been for a long time now is not going to be useful at all to you, okay? And again, yeah, I've just said that. Don't avoid this or look for a quick fix. You've been doing that already, and look where it's got you. Okay, so please take a step back, drop the ego, and realize there's something bigger going on here, something deeper within you. That's what we need to solve. And if you avoid this, you'll continue to be stuck. That's just the reality of this situation. Okay, that's why trigger tracking is so honestly so important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you one of my clients' version of this. Okay, I'm actually going to run through one of his versions, which he filled out greatly, and it helped us understand a lot about his situation and his self sabotage. And then what I'll do is I'll get into the actual sheet with you and I'll play around with it and show you how to sort of use it. There will be a link in the description to this video with the link to the Google Doc. And if you click on the link and click File and Make Copy, you'll have your own copy. But don't do it to the end of this video. Don't do it right now, okay? Because I guarantee you are probably thinking about it. So let me just get into an example with you. So one of my clients, I think that was meant to say client example here. Oh, there it is. So basically, this is one of my client examples. Okay, so let's just run through this. Okay, so he done this and he done it for a longer time than this. Okay, but I've just took a quick snapshot of it. So from the 2nd of October to the 8th of October, this was last year. Now, this wasn't something he had done before, but as you can see up the top, I like people to put in the date that they're self-sabotaging, what the behavior is, the trigger for that behavior, the action slash inaction, what did you do or what did you not do, and a little bit of reflection. And reflection can kind of be anything you want, really, just to think about what happened, how you could change it in the future, Yeah, it's basically a summary of the rest. Okay, so here's how you would use this. Okay, so here's an example of my clients here. So on the 2nd of October, let's just start with the top one, avoiding work tasks that made him feel anxious. Okay, that's fine. Look, again, natural. Again, this is him dropping the ego and realizing what's really going on. This is amazing to admit this to yourself. So the trigger was that he was feeling anxious about. It was actually a conversation around money. Okay, to put it shortly, that's what this is. Um, the action slash inaction was that he left the desk to make a cup of tea and didn't complete the task, right? And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. There's many different things we do that we pretend we are, going to make a cup of tea, go to put the washing on if you work from home, or go on your phone and Instagram to find something out. There's always an excuse in your head for not doing the thing, and that's what this is good for exploring. Okay, now on the reflection here, you can see he wrote in here the anxiety came from feelings of inadequacy and overwhelm, also around feeling deceitful and ashamed because of commissions. Some catastrophizing around losing clients and the impact that would have on self-esteem and finances. So a lot of looking into the future there. Now, that off the bat here, off the top, this is something I can relate to. It's a conversation around money here that he was making him feel anxious. Okay, so there's some sort of belief that he holds around money that makes him feel anxious about it. Okay, again, I've had the exact same thing, so I completely understand where he's coming from here. Okay, and maybe you do too, and maybe you don't, but we'll get into some more here. Um, Avoiding important work stuff, feeling overwhelmed by the size of a task. This is a great one. He prioritized tasks for me over at his actual work priorities. That's a great thing to sort of admit to as well, and very interesting. And it does happen quite a lot. Doing busy work or less important slash vital jobs to get out of doing boring but necessary work. Yep. Do this a lot. I still feel like I'm getting stuff done, so can kid myself it's not all bad, but the reality, but really important jobs remain undone. Perfect. Okay, that's a lack of prioritization we can see here, right? But that came from feeling overwhelmed. Okay. So I know I've only went over two here, but what you can see here is if you look down the self-sabotaging behavior here, avoiding, avoiding work, avoiding work, avoiding, avoiding tasks. Okay, so there's a lot of avoidance going on here. So with this client, that's good to, and the thing is, you might already know this, but it's all of this stuff that helps you understand why. Um, Feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed again, worried about commission. So again, this is another money thing. Feeling ashamed, bored, too wired to go to bed, inadequate about quality of work. Okay, so there's quite a few different triggers here, but I'm going to start with feeling overwhelmed. Okay, that's a massive one that comes up. Interesting to know that a lot of the times that he was self-sabotaging, it was because he was feeling overwhelmed by the size of a task. Okay, so you can see some common patterns here. And by the way, there was a lot more data than this. So the thing is, there will be different reasons for your self-sabotage, but some will occur more than others. And those are the ones that you can try and tackle first because they have the most importance. Okay, they're the most prominent in your life. Okay, so yeah, overwhelmed, feeling bored, too wired to go to bed, inadequate, all absolutely relatable, 100% relatable things that I've been through myself. And you can see here, if we go through action, inaction, so this is what he did instead of doing the work. Make a cup of tea, prioritized my exercises over his own work, cleaned the house, drove back instead of having a conversation, didn't go into the school and have the conversation that he was wanting to have, pottered about at home making breakfast and scrolling endlessly on his phone, sat on the phone for 2 hours at night when he needed to go to bed, switch tasks to something easier. So again, look, there's a lot of data here, okay? And I know there's only what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 data points here, okay? But you can see a common pattern occurring here. And then the reflection is a sort of expansion of your overall thoughts of what's just happened. Now, this is designed for you to fill out in the moment, okay? If you start doing this and you miss the fact, if you miss if you miss actually writing it down on the document, that's absolutely fine. You can do it later in the day, okay? But what I really want people doing is, as soon as they're self-sabotaging, they're noting it down somewhere, okay? Because again, that's going to get you into the habit of realizing that you're self-sabotaging. It's almost like when you self-sabotage, that's actually going to trigger a response in you to want to fill out this sheet, and then you're recognizing that you're actually in this loop rather than feeling like a zombie. Okay, so this is designed to make you do this in the moment. But again, at the start, if you miss it, it's fine. And also, if you get to later on that night and you think back throughout the day, if you want to fill in the stuff, that's absolutely fine. That's better than nothing, okay? But in the moment is when things feel fresh, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this sheet and we'll just have a little play around and I'll show you how to sort of use it, okay? It's quite self-explanatory, but I will do that. So this is us on the actual worksheet itself, okay? And as I said before, if you go in the link in the description, the file will be there. If you hit File, then Make a Copy, you will have your own version that you can edit, right? You won't be able to edit this version, but you'll be able to go on File, Make a Copy, and you'll have your own. Okay, so let's throw up a couple of common examples. Okay, so let's say it is, okay, 14th of February as I record this, okay? Let's use a common example that I'm pretty sure a lot of people, or probably everyone, can relate to. Let's say self-sabotaging behavior, avoiding important work, and started doom scrolling, okay, which is a massive one, and I'm smiling because honestly it used to catch me out as well, so I completely understand it. Okay, so yeah, avoid important work and started doom scrolling. Trigger. Okay, so let's go back to the example on the previous slide. Overwhelmed. That is one as well. Okay. Let's think of something like, for example, a lot of people avoid sales conversations or sale or like outreach. Okay, that's one of the biggest ones I see. So, felt. Let's say it's a sales call. Okay, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Like a sales conversation of some sort. Okay, felt nervous before. About doing sales tasks, okay, whatever they may be, whether that's outreach through email, messaging, or sales calls. Okay, so felt nervous about doing sales tasks. Okay, action slash inaction is that avoided doing sales work and instead scrolled on the phone for 1 hour, let's say. Okay. So you're kind of summarising what's happened in the previous ones, and then reflection. What I want you to do is there's no real sort of structure to this. I actually quite like people to just add what they want, right? So it could be a case of the reflection is that noticed that when anything sales related needed finished, I will always look for a way out. Okay, sorry about the way I'm speaking there as if I'm typing. Whoops. Always look for a way out. Okay, and then feeling inadequate about holding conversations. I'm just making this up. It depends on how you're feeling about it at the moment. This is what I'm saying. This is quite a hard one for me to sort of get into your head, because the thing, problem, honestly, there's so many reasons. So I would rather you just wrote what's happened, how you felt about it, and again, noticing that you are self-sabotaging or procrastinating or using an unhealthy coping mechanism. For example, when you're doing a certain type of work, is honestly brilliant as well, because it helps us know that there's something in that work that's holding you back, right? There's a reason you sit down to do that work and you're feeling all of this friction in your life, okay? And again, I know reversing your root cause, rewiring your root cause will help you take frictionless action, but right now we need to find out what that is, okay? Let me just do one more example. Had to do, this is something that I used to really struggle with. Had to do some editing, but instead decided to edit the website. Okay. Friction is there was a lot of friction. Yeah, trigger is sorry. A lot of friction when I was down to edit, as the task seemed so big. Okay, so I'm not someone that is great at editing. I've never loved it, but this is just a common example. This is actually me thinking back to things that I used to do. So I had editing work that was really important. Okay, I had to get some content out, but instead I decided to tinker with my website. Okay, and in the list of prioritizations, that was absolutely the reverse of what I should be doing, okay? I should have been editing rather than editing my website or fiddling about with it. And you know what? I probably fiddled about with it and then we just kept it the exact same as it was, okay? There's so much, you can get lost in so much preparation that you don't actually take action on the things that are most important. So, action, pro on the important editing work and decided to do something easier. That didn't move the boat forward. And what I mean by that is, there's tasks that I feel like move your business forward more than others, obviously. And fiddling about with the website wasn't one of those. Okay, and again, it's just taking the easy way out. And by the way, if you relate to this, it's completely natural. Your situation isn't unique, and I say that from the point of view as to realize that drop the ego. Your situation isn't unique. Everyone goes through this at some point in their life with some sort of area. People go through this with relationships, with their health, and their business, which is the one I mostly focus on, right? But this is completely natural, okay? But if you be honest with yourself in this sheet for a good 2 or 3 weeks, you will notice patterns and you'll start to understand why you're self-sabotaging. And also, as I've said before, you will catch yourself self-sabotaging in the moment, okay? And again, a reflection on this with whatever you feel. And yeah, that's. I hope this makes sense. I've just went over 2 simple examples here, but to be honest with you, although there's like a structure to this, especially when it comes to reflection, I want you to write whatever you want. Some people actually write about what's just happened and then they will expand on what they can do differently next time, which is great because it's starting to like install a positive sort of feedback loop rather than the normal sort of zombie like destructive sabotaging cycle that you can find yourself in. So this sheet, as I've said in the description, file, make copy, and please do this. Honestly, keep doing it for as long as you need to. 2, 3 weeks, month, doesn't matter. This is where you should start, and I'll get on to what to do next. And here's what to do next. Nothing right now. Okay? Now this might sound silly, but right now, I've wrote here, don't worry about the next step. If you can do this for a few weeks and can then move on to another video, I'll be making, or give me a direct message. If you've done this, give me a message. Okay? I am not going to tell you about fixes to the problem when you don't know what the problem is. And I'm not going to, I've wrote here as well, I don't want you to be overwhelmed or look for shortcuts here. This is the thing to do. The rest, the fix for it, don't worry. Identify the problem first, okay? And that's all we're doing here. And this data and pattern recognition is the most important right now, nothing else. Without this, you don't even know what you're trying to fix. And that's the point here. Don't go out there looking for the shortcuts. Find out what you need to fix by doing this sheet. Patterns will emerge. You might have a few different reasons you're self-sabotaging, but there'll be one that is most prominent, I promise you that, and that's when you can start. But until you have a lot of data on this, don't do anything else. And with that, get the sheet from the description or down below and get this done, okay? Nothing else matters right now. And even do this for a week and give me a message, or 2 weeks, whatever. Do this for at least a week and then give me a message and I can give you advice from there. And I look forward to seeing your sheets.